Greeting, teacher, and classmates. I come to you this evening asking you, does misrepresentation on TV really affect the community? Does it really upset the mind mentally and physically? For many generations among human race, we've been told many times by our families and parents, you can be anything you want to be. But what happens when you don't see great examples of what you may want to be? What happened when they don't look like you? What happened when they don't have the same privileges as you? Do you work above it? And do you fly high and still proceed? Or do you give up once you realize there's no one like you that you see? There's been many studies that have shown that without representation in the TV, social media, everyday world, that it lowers the self esteem of our youth, and more particularly our um, culture youth, our urban youth. And that could be anybody from the Spanish youth to the Asian youth to more popularly the African American youth. The community of people that the kids see representative represented in their eyes are usually Caucasians, and they have an easy way and an easy going about how they are allowed to proceed through life. They paint a picture of you're born, there's a mom and dad in the house, life is great. You go to these wonderful schools with all these cool activities and cool teachers. You can walk in and out of the house whenever you want to. Um, every day is sunshiny rays, high five neighbor, neighbor community, great house. Because you went to school, you automatically graduated, you automatically went to college, you got your first car at 16 or 18, or you found the love of your life in college, or whenever you married them, you had a baby, the cycle continues. Is the representation, the basics of representation that's being shown. But in certain communities, that's not what's happening. They're not getting the two-parent home, the great apartment, or the great big house or small house. Sometimes they're getting the trailer parks. You have to fight with unwanted pests and animals. Um, you have to use a stove to heat your house. You have to fight over the last piece of whatever because it's not enough food for everybody. Or the kids eat but the parents don't because they want to make sure that the kids have something to eat. How does that affect the mental? Does it affect the mental? And the answer is yes, it does. There was a study that showed that um, the more they suffered, the higher the crime rate, drug rates, thievery rates. It was high, and according to one point of view from hercampus.com stated, a lack of representation creates a lack of opportunities and encourages marginalized youth to believe that they will never be qualified for various positions in the media, in politics, student organizations, business, and any other thing that they think they may want to, simply because of the way the world views their identity or what they were shown their identity should be. What does that do for them? It makes them start idolizing the wrong people, the wrong activities, and making wrong choices. It makes them see the drug dealers with a pocket full of cash, the shiny cars, the shiny jewelry, able to just go get a meal whenever they want to, go buy the latest sneakers or whatever when they want to. And they ask, how can we get it? Well, that's what they saw. That's what was represented, excuse me, to them, and that's what they followed. Uh, and it was represented in a way of somebody that looked like them. Some people not seeing themselves, it causes their self esteem to drop so low that they make choices to sell themselves, sell their kids, uh, items out of a home, just to get by, just to be able to bring in extra money to have a better life. It's many reasons out there that may not all fit into this video, but I just wanted everybody to take the time to understand and pay attention that people like Michelle and Barack Obama, the world went crazy for them, and it wasn't all their politics. Yeah, he did some politics that everybody wasn't excited about, but it was the point of representation. Not a lot of kids in the ghetto or the hood, as you may say, thought that they would make it to the White House other than to visit, if that. But to run the White House, to live at the White House, and definitely not children from Chicago and the South Side of Chicago, where the crime rate is sky high, would have thought that they would make it there. Never mind the fact that the African American community just didn't see that, period, because we know we built it, but we didn't think we would live there many centuries and years ago. So it was the fact that they came in, they were greatly dressed, they were greatly poised, they they cared, they loved. So that representation changed a lot of kids' lives. We now have a lot more kids in uh, pre med and pre law, looking at politics, looking at this. It made them say, oh, our voices could be heard because Barack said, Michelle said. It made the girls dress better, feel better, look better. Michelle hair was never out of place. Michelle outfits was never out of place. And she hugged and loved everybody. So just to think, representation is exactly what we need and what's an important change if we want to change our community and which way we're headed. So ask yourself today, how are you representing and how are you showing representation to the youth of tomorrow? Thank you. I hope I woke up a urge in you to want to represent what you truly believe in and the right thing for our youth of tomorrow. Thank you.